Hi guys, it's Usernamekate here and welcome back to my channel. So, bit of a different one today. There's no vlogging, there's nothing riding related, purely because I'm based in the UK and in the UK at present we're all in lockdown from this stupid virus. So first things first, I hope everyone is alright, staying safe, all that jazz. Yeah, so let's get started. I asked a few people on Instagram and on my YouTube just to send in some questions about a Q&A so that I could answer some for you, purely out of boredom because I'm going insane not being able to ride this thing. So yeah, I guess we'll get started. Right, so the first question, which we'll ping up here, was sent in from Wedso_ on Instagram. And the question is, what bikes do you currently own? So for anyone that doesn't really know me that well, I actually have 3 bikes at the minute. So obviously we'll start with Donald here. Donald the Triumph Street 765 RS. Then I've got my Track Beast, which is my Gixxer 750, which I'm sure you'll have seen on Instagram. And then I've got my newest edition, which is a Beta 200 Alp. So I got that mainly for sort of green lane bimbling, off-roading, just to have a bit of fun. It's very low, so it suits me down to the ground, and it's a 4-stroke, so it's dead tame, dead manageable. So that's my 3 bikes at the moment. So the next few questions that I got sent in, they're all quite similar. So I kind of lumped them all together, and they are about my career and what I do. So the first question is from FalG75, which is, how are you liking working for BMW compared to Harley Davidson? So for people that don't know what I do, I used to sell Harley Davidsons for a living, and now I sell BMWs for a living. However, I've actually been off longer now than I had been working at my new job, because I started and then obviously all this lockdown stuff happened. So I've actually had more time off than on the job at the minute. But yeah, how am I liking working for BMW compared to Harley? From what I've experienced so far, it's a lot more fast-paced. And I think that's just purely because of the number of volume of units that BMW shift in comparison to Harley Davidson. Obviously Harleys, not everybody wants to ride them all year round, which is understandable. Whereas with BMWs, you've got the GS's, you've got the adventure bikes, you've got the scooters, you've got the sort of naked bikes and sports bikes. There's kind of something for everyone. So there's always that boom, boom, boom customer coming through the door wanting something. So the pace is definitely something that's been a bit tricky to get adjusted to. Next question, again similar, from A.1 Alexander, which I just call him Alexander. How have you found the transition from Harley to BMW? So the transition, again, I suppose I've just answered it in the first one. Fast paced. People are lovely there though. The products are more up my street. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm more into the naked bikes and the sports bikes than I am the cruisers. And don't get me wrong, whilst I was working at Harley, I did really enjoy riding them when I could. Just a different kettle of fish, but at the end of the day with me, if it's got an engine and 2 wheels, I'll give it a bash and I'll probably like it. And then the last one of that similar thread is Pitman101. And he said, what made you change jobs to work for BMW instead of Harley Davidson? I sold a Harley to a guy, lovely chap, sold him an Iron 1200, and he came in with his brother. So I sold him the bike, did everything. At the end of that sale, his brother actually introduced himself to me and said, I'm actually the sales manager at BMW in Manchester. I'm going to have you on my team next year. And I was like, oh, I'm really flattered, thank you, but I'm not interested, because I genuinely did love selling Harley Davidsons. The passion, the people, the vibe, the atmosphere is really nice, and I didn't think anything would tempt me away from it, to be honest. But I heard him out, I went for an informal chat, absolutely loved what was laid out on the table, and then I thought, oh crap, I'm actually going to have to make a decision now. So I was pretty heartbroken leaving Harley Davidson because I loved the team, I loved everything about it, and there was nothing wrong with it, but I just kind of figured it was an opportunity I couldn't turn down, and just the next sort of stage in my life. And here I am, selling the BMWs. So I managed to sell 5 before lockdown, which I'm pretty happy about. So yeah, good choice overall, but I did like working for Harley. Right, this next one is from Supermoto Loco. So it's on the topic of bike tours. Bike tours, what have you done? What do you intend to do? And what would your dream tour be? No budget. Okay, so what have I done in the past? I've done a few things, but proper tours, I'd say I went to Garmisch-Partenkirchen for the BMW Motorrad Treffen with my dad many years ago. I was actually riding an XJ6 then, a Yamaha. So did that tour, that was brilliant, loved it, got to watch Chris Pfeiffer stunting, you know, the Alpine mountains in the background, oh, it was amazing. Since then, I've done some more tours, again around Europe. I've done 2 tours with Mike, who's my other half, better half. And again, just the Alps, Austria, Switzerland, it's Italy, Italian Alps, you know, sort of just going through the passes and everything like that. But how I prefer to tour is, some people call it cheating, but I just call it being smart. So you get your bikes, you load them in a van, you do all the long haul shit miles in the van, then you pull up at a beautiful destination, you whip your bikes out, you think, oh, you know what, it's sunny, I'll wear my leathers because I've got them in the van. Or you think, nah, it's looking like it might rain, I'll put the textiles on. So you've got options because it's all in the van. And then you don't have to ride around all the passes all loaded up. You can just leave them back at base. You can go and absolutely rip around. In fact, what I'll do is I'll insert little videos so you can sort of see what I'm on about. So yeah, just ripping around the passes, absolutely awesome. Love doing that, I'd love to do it again. I just wish that we had some time and Rona wasn't around. What would your dream bike tour be? No budget. I guess no budget, a dream tour would be just travelling around Europe. I love Europe, I absolutely adore it. Other than that, I would actually really like to travel around Vietnam on like a little tiny thing, you know, just something to go through all the like jungles and the forests and stuff like that, and experience all the craziness of the roads. I think that'd be amazing. So yeah, I'd love to have a mooch around Vietnam. Right, next page. So this one is from Frankenstein_Joe. How old are you? Oh, God, you know, you never ask a woman that question. No, I'm actually pretty old. 28 years old, 29 this year, and I don't know where the time's gone. I still feel 18. It's just crap getting old. Right, next question is from cat13.rolf, and it is best advice for a rider after their first crash. Still getting over some anxiety from mine. I've had another guy as well called Mark Withersea, and he's put a similar question, so I'm going to team him up. Getting back on a bike for the first time after an accident, tough or easy? So addressing the first one, best advice for a rider after the first crash. I don't know if you guys know me as well as some of my friends, but obviously I've had a few crashes. So I've done, I don't know if you can see, scars there, and then scars. I've got one, where is it? Put one there. No, you can't quite see it. And then on this wrist, I've got the same. There. and then I've got them here as well, and then I have got my collarbone, which is there. So I am no stranger to the odd spill. Best advice I could give somebody who is getting over a crash is to try and get back on the bike as soon as possible. Try not to think about it, just force yourself to get on, because the longer you don't do that, the longer you overthink things. Like when I hit a car and flew over the the back of the car, Superman style, it took me ages after that to think. I wanted to go out on the bike, I wanted to ride, but in the back of my head I was like, just in the shower, like, someone's going to try and kill me today. Do I want to go out? Do I want to risk it? Is it fate? Is it my time? Is someone going to hit me again? Like, literally, that is the thoughts that went through my head. So yeah, best thing to do is just get back out there. And speaking from experience and someone who's had a few painful crashes, it sounds cliche, but there is no better healer than time. So the more you ride, the more you just get, in the moment of how happy you are and how amazing the riding's making you feel. And the more you do that and the more you get out, the less time you'll be thinking about, the crash and stuff like that. So that's what I'd recommend. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a GP, I'm not a therapist. So, if it's really affecting you, maybe get some sort of therapy on that. Because I'm sure they know what they're talking about more than me. Right, next one is from Joe Sheehan __ on Instagram. Ooh, I like this question. Top 3 male riders and top 3 female riders. Okay, so top 3 males. I'm going to be really sad now and say that my favourite person, male rider in the world, is Mike, my other half. Sounds really tacky and cliche, but I'm going to tell you why he qualifies. When you just ride with somebody and it's almost like telepathy, and you know exactly what they're going to do before they do it, or even at the same time that they know, and vice versa. That is the vibe that I get when I ride with Mike. So I can go out with him and we'll be going down a road and he'll go to overtake, and I know that I can come out because I know that he's going to swoop in to make room for me, and vice versa. And we always have each other's back. We don't bicker. We just ride and it flows and it's harmonious, and there is no better feeling than when you're riding with someone else and it just clicks. So he is my number 1 male rider. Number 2, this guy, I watch him all the time on YouTube. I'm going to sound like a right saddo, but because I'm into track riding, I find his videos so interesting. He's called Alberto Nazca, and he has an English channel. I watch this guy a lot because he does a lot of YouTube videos that I find really fun to watch. Like, they really keep my attention. It's all like on bike footage of him absolutely spanking around his R1. It's fantastic. He documents his racing, he documents everything in the garages. He's really entertaining. So yeah, I watch that guy a lot, and he's my second top male rider. Third male rider is definitely a German chap called Schaff, who I've been following him for ages. I absolutely love his photography on Instagram. It's always amazing GoPro pictures, like some crazy like selfie angles from up there, and his videos. First found his videos on YouTube, and it's all like raw footage of him while it was spanking around like a CB500 around the Alps, and just absolutely giving it the berries. And he's got the mic so you can hear the exhaust, and it's exhilarating to watch, and it makes you want to go there and ride the same roads and have the same amount of fun. So female riders, top 3, easy. First one is Jane Daniels. She is a legend. She's the women's enduro champion, and I don't know her personally, but I've met her acquaintance a few times, and she's just such a badass. Anything that she fixes on a bike, she does it herself. She's had some proper gnarly injuries, and she's just like, look, my finger's hanging off. She doesn't care. And her riding is just, you know, you watch someone and you're like, it's just tight. Why can't I ride like that? That's the feels that Jane Daniels gives me. So the next female rider, I would say, is Jenny Timnath. Now, she is a freaking badass from the UK. I've done a Jamie Whittam track day, and I was fortunate enough to get a picture with her, which I'll put here, back when I was brunette. She wasn't actually my instructor, but because of that, it meant that I could spectate her, and oh my god, she goes like a scalded weasel, literally on track, just boo-shacking everybody. Oh, it was just spectacular to watch. So yeah, I'd say Jenny Timnath is just all-round badass. Number 3 is definitely Red Spade. Now, she is a girl that I came across on Instagram, and she always inspires me to be the best that I can be on track. She's always riding a CBR, absolutely just taking the best track pictures. She's got the best footage, absolutely banked over, again going like a bat out of hell, and she's so down to earth, and she does not use like the sex sells route. She's not like wiggling her ass stood up on a bike. She is just down there bossing it. Amazing. So yeah, that's my top 3 females and males. So the next one is from Jakey_Insta, and it is, what was the scary situation you've been in whilst riding? Oh god, there's a few. In the span of 12 years is, you know, there's been enough, but not enough that it's because I'm reckless or anything like that. I'd say track, scariest moment, I'll put a video right there, was when I just took such an odd line at Rockingham and just went over some, like an apex, but it was a bit bumpy, and I got proper bar shake, and I was going so fast, and I thought, this is the end, but thankfully it wasn't. Stayed on, got my composure, carried on. On the road, I'd probably say that my scariest moment was doing legal motorway speeds, you know. Ages back on my SV650, got a tank slapper, horrendous. Literally, I was on an intercom to Mike, and I was just going, Mike, oh my god, did you see that? I just nearly died. And he was like, Kate, shut up, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, no, you don't realise, I just nearly died. And he was like, Kate, stop being drama queen. Absolutely shaking from that moment. And just ever since after that, I just lost faith in the bike. And it's that, you know, the moment when you're just like, I need to get something else. That has unnerved me to death. That was the moment. So, next one, _Ruby_Rides_, my girl. She's put, what litre bike would you get? Surprise, surprise. Ruby, I don't know if you guys follow her on Instagram, you probably will, because she has a bajillion followers. She is a big ass fan of her litre bikes. So she's currently got a HP4, which is beautiful. She's got a H2, which is so shiny and beautiful. She's just given away in a raffle her Fireblade, which was predominantly a track bike, and she's just bought another bike of a similar calibre, but she's not revealing what it is yet, so I'll have to wait and see for that. But what litre bike would I get personally? That is a tricky one. If I was getting a sports bike, a litre bike, I just am in love with Claudia's bike, Chronicles of Claudia. This is her bike. I'll put a picture. She calls it Sonic. And, oh, sorry, my cat's just joined me. The sound of it, just is enough to make me want one of those as a litre bike. Honestly, it just roars like nothing else. If I was going down the sort of naked bike route, definitely an MV Augusta Rush, which I'll put a picture of it there if you're not familiar with it. I saw it at the MTN bike show and I was just absolutely mesmerised. Like the quality of it, like just studying it, it was just an exotic piece of art. Okay, so next question is from, it's either Mr. K or Mark, but it's mrk.e_c. So I'm just going to go with mark.e_c. Favourite non-healthy meal? Absolute sucker for a Five Guys. Those peanut fries, sorry if you've got a peanut allergy, not my problem. Oh, you are missing out. Amazing. Literally the most beautiful fries I've ever tasted. If I'm out and about and I'm on the bike and I'm stopping at a service station, my favourite non-healthy meal go-to is a Whopper from Burger King. I just can't get enough of them. They just taste beautiful. Moving on. So the next one is from Stevie on it on Instagram, and it is, if you wasn't working in a bike shop, what would you be doing for a career? Oh damn. I've not really give it that much thought because, like, before I worked in the bike industry, I've done a lot of trades. I've worked in a lot of industries trying to figure out which was the right path for me. So I've done recruitment, I've done import stuff from a global sourcing company. I've worked at B&Q, actually love that job, it was mint. I've been a waitress. I was a waitress at 15, trying to get that dollar. So I've tried quite a number of things, but working in the bike industry is just where I needed to be, just because it aligned my passion with my work. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're around bikes all the time, you'll grow to hate them, you'll want to get home and not think about bikes. No, that's not a thing. Literally, bikes, go home, ride your bike, talk about your bike, clean your bike, work on your bike, dream about your bike. It's all bikes. So yeah, but if I wasn't doing any of that, I think I'd have to do something like be a pimple popper or an earwax extractor or an ingrowing toenail specialist. Like, I'm horrendous. I love that kind of squeamish stuff that other people like. Like, I'm your girl. Other than that, I don't know. Realistically, all I can see is bikes in my future, and everything else is just background noise. I can't imagine doing anything else really. If I wasn't selling bikes, maybe, I mean, the dream would be to ride around the world on a bike and get paid for doing articles and writing about your experiences. But this is the real world we live in, and only a few people are fortunate enough to do that, and I don't think it's me. Next one is from William Smith 1993. As you've worked in a number of dealerships, who would you say are the toughest customers? What a question. I'd probably say that some of the toughest customers that I've ever had to deal with was selling motocross bikes, because a lot of the customers that you would get tend to be the types that you find ragging around fields, two up with no lids on, so that can be quite challenging. Other tough customers are just people that drive the hardest bargain. Like, come on, I've got to eat, I don't want to live off beans for my life, I've got to keep the lights on. Like, there's got to be something in it for you and something in it for me. But some people just really screw you right down until you've got nothing else to give, and it's just like, pah. Right, next one. I go Meow on Instagram. Any prejudice in your day job selling bikes? Is there a difference in how you're treated being a girl? Good question. Sometimes yeah, sometimes no. It's never usually an issue when you start rambling on about bikes with the customer and then they kind of start to understand that you know what you're talking about, you know about bikes. And you know what, I think even if you don't know everything about bikes, just being honest about it and just being a nice, talkative, friendly person is sometimes enough. Just because at the end of the day, like motorcycle customers, they've done the research, they know exactly what bike they want. They just want a nice, friendly person to hand it over and make everything run smoothly. And that's me. So if you want to buy a BMW, hit me up. But as far as being treated differently because I'm a girl, I have encountered a few strange things in the past. I've had comments like, oh, but it's well easy being a girl in sales. All you've got to do is bat your eyelids. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what I do. I just say, would you like to buy a bike? It literally doesn't work like that. Another negative is sometimes people think that you won't know anything and they don't want to deal with the girl, they want to speak with the guy, which is a little bit frustrating, but hey ho, old school views. It's not something that can easily be changed. So yeah, there are pluses. You get a guy come in or a girl and they think, you know what, I don't care who serves me, I'll just deal with anyone. Or you get a girl that comes in and feels slightly less threatened by another girl. Don't think we'll come in with such a hard sale. Think we'll be more relatable, which we are. And you know, that always works, you know, quite well. So there are pros and there are cons. Can't get it right all the time. Can't have it perfect because people have different preconceptions, experiences. So you just got to roll with the punches, assess the situation, figure out what you're dealing with. So yeah, I was just going to read another question and then realise that I've been rambling on for nearly half an hour, and if you've got an attention span like me, you will not still be here. You'll be doing something else. You'll be watching telly, you'll be, I'm bored of this girl, harping on, which I don't blame you. So what I might do is I might do like a playlist, Q&A 1, Q&A part 2, just to save your sanity, guys, because, you know, there's only so many questions you can listen to. So yeah, I'll cut it off there. Sorry if I didn't get a chance to read out your question. I just did not know how long it would take me to jibber jabber on for ages. Hope you enjoyed this. Apparently the thing to do on YouTube is to ask people to hit the subscribe button, so I'm going to be that girl. It means a lot when people subscribe. I love reading your comments. I try and reply to every single one of them. So if you want to sound off in the comments below, drop a like, it's always super appreciated. And yes, until the next one, stay safe out there, guys. It's a wild world.